DIY divorce in Utah, some mistakes to avoid. You know, a DIY divorce, do-it-yourself divorce sounds pretty easy, right? You go online, you fill out some forms, put in some numbers, and you get a divorce. Until your ex hires an attorney. Or you make costly mistakes. You don't make a full financial disclosure. There's mistakes in it. There's mistakes in your paperwork. And it just, you know, wrong child support number. So you short yourself on child support, or you're paying too much in child support by not doing it right. You know, an inequitable distribution of the debt. Maybe, you know, that debt was only in her name, but golly, it was used to pay a lot of family expenses. So maybe that should have been split, but it wasn't. There's a lot of things that people mess up. Matter of fact, I had a situation about 7 years ago. Two highly educated people, without getting into a ton of detail, they each had master's degrees. Okay, these weren't people that weren't sophisticated, didn't have education. They had master's degrees. One was in finance, the other was in business. So you'd think they'd get this right. Well, hey, they're going to save money. Well, they're getting along. They just couldn't be married anymore. They figured out how they're going to raise the kids. It was all copacetic. So they did their divorce. Fast forward 3 years. And they called me, one of them. And then I start looking at it. And about the same time, they're having a fight. I had the wife. Husband called one of my friends across town. He started looking at it. We called each other and we said, hey, we got to talk about this case. We went to lunch. And we sat down with their divorce decree that they had done it themselves. These two people with master's degrees in finance and business. They had contradicted themselves. Direct contradictions in their divorce paperwork 4 times. One of the contradictions had to do with their home, about what was going to happen with the proceeds and when it was going to be sold. It said one thing on one page and a completely different thing on another page. There were a lot of other, you know, like I say, we found 4 direct contradictions, and it was just really an unworkable document because it contradicted itself. This was done by smart people, educated people. But they weren't educated in what I'm educated in. They didn't have the 2 decades plus of experience doing this stuff. So they messed it up. 2 people did a DIY divorce and messed it up. It cost them twice as much to fix it as it would have cost them to have just done it right the first time. Now, fortunately, it didn't cost them 3 or 4 times as much because me and the other attorney, we were able to sit down and figure out what they really wanted to do and got things amended and fixed, you know, mediation and those kind of things. We got it fixed. We solved the problem for them, but it was a problem of their own doing that was much more expensive in the long run than if they'd have just hired my friend and I to do it the first time. So please, please, if you own a home, if you have kids, if you have significant debts or significant assets, do not do a do-it-yourself divorce. Now, if you've been married 6 months, nothing but your wedding presents, no kids, no real debt, a DIY divorce might be okay. I will concede that. But if it is complicated at all by owning property, with retirement plans, kids, assets, etc., please, please do not do a DIY divorce. Come hire me, come hire my firm, or co-hire another firm. But do not do a DIY divorce because there are so many ways it can be messed up, even if you're smart, even if you're well educated, even if you think you know what you're doing. My name is Travis Christiansen with Greater Zion Law by Boyack Christiansen here in southern Utah. We do cases all over Utah, but particularly down here in southern Utah among these red rocks. We would love to help you. Visit greaterzionlaw.com and give us a call and set up a time to come in for a consultation.